this is the top 10 reasons why people are currently quitting toilet tower defense. All right, let's get into it. So the first reason, and the one that everyone knows about and the one that everybody talks about, is the lack of updates that's currently happening in TTD. And hold on, before you go anywhere, I'm not going to talk about this point for super long. We're going to just touch on it and move on to some points that I actually believe are stronger as to why TTD players are currently quitting and why the game's slowly starting to die off. I mean, so as you can see here, obviously, this is a point we've made. There's only been 12 Skibbity Toilet episodes that have been made in, like, the past 4 months. That's it. And obviously, Toilet Tower Defense is completely dependent on that of episodes of Toilet Tower Defense, or Skibbity Toilet, rather. And with fewer episodes coming out, there have been less updates that have been happening in Toilet Tower Defense. Not only that, but Toilet Tower Defense has been doing its best trying to make updates that aren't just related to that of episode updates, or there'd be even less. For example, that's why we always get those holiday updates. It makes sense, but a main reason why a lot of people are leaving is because there's lack of updates, right? Like, a lot of other games you can play that aren't solely dependent on updates or episodes coming out of a YouTube series. And that's out of the control of the game, but that makes players want to leave and play something that will get updated more consistently. Alright, let's move on to number 2. Frankly, this could be said about most tower defense games. However, for some reason, it seems to more exclusively apply to tower defense more than any other. And that would be its repetitive gameplay. And I know, but Hopeless, that's what tower defense games are. You're trying to get to higher rounds and Yeah, but the difference is in most other tower defense games, there's some sort of story mode or more incentivized quest and things like that, where Toilet Tower Defense doesn't have that. The only thing they have is a top 100 leaderboard to try to get an upgraded Titan Drill Man. That's about it. There's really no other like genuine in-game incentive to keep you playing. The only other thing is to get new units. To then what? Not be able to get to the top 100 from people exploiting? Yeah, exactly. That's not very fun at all. I mean, the game becomes way too repetitive with little variation in challenges, enemies, or characters, and eventually players will lose attention or just their will to play over time eventually. And it's not like the player count's at a bad spot right now, but it's definitely lower than average. Alright, let's move on to the next topic. So option number 3, and the one that almost all of you guys were expecting, was going to be the pay-to-win element. And, you know, before I even need to say anything about it, I mean, literally the best starting unit in the game is a pay-to-win unit. It's a whole bundle. But Hopeless, it has good value. Yeah, but still. Are there other good starting units in the game? Of course. But are any of them as good as a Green Laser Cameraman? No. Green Laser's the GOAT, and we all know that. But you have to pay to get them. Or you can grind for hours to try to buy one for free from the marketplace that someone still had to pay Robux to buy. It makes sense though. You know, people make Roblox games to make money. Let's be real. And that's their way of making money. Do I like it? No. But do I understand it? Yes. That's part of the reason why people are leaving. Much like that of like games like Pet Sim, or a lot of the player bases like just get upset over time because they would rather just, you know, work hard and put in time, energy, and effort into the game rather than having to pay for success. So that's part of the reason. All right, let's move on to option number 4. So this one might come as a shock to some of you guys, but this is part of the reason why I feel like Toilet Tower Defense is starting to die out, and that's going to be limited social features. I mean, we have the trading plaza. Sure, we do have the trading plaza. Also, when did the Hyper-Upgraded Titan Speakerman get so oversaturated? Dude, so many people must have gotten gems with the new update. That's insane. The economy's broken now. The Hyper's not even rare anymore. Either way, lack of social features such as like multiplayer mode or PvP mode, the one that people have been asking for months, or also like the overly aggressive monetization strategies. There's a limited player interaction, there's not that many community events, and it makes the game feel kind of isolated and less engaging for some players. I mean, when the only real aspect of playing the game or like feeling entitled to a sense of community is involved in a third-party platform known as Discord, I don't really know how much social features you could say this game really has compared to any other game of Roblox. And plus, I would say you're hardly incentivized to play with people in this game. Sure, there's a slight little coin bonus, but that's about it. There's not really more of a reason to do it. I mean, you guys see how far I've made it in this game, and I've been a Lonely skeleton boy by myself the entire time. Am I being too hypocritical? Maybe, but that's just something that I think. All right, let's move on to option number 5. Option number 5, and this is something that goes for pretty much every tower defense game in Roblox. Some are good, some are the exceptions. However, number 5 is going to be poor balancing. And for example, it's like I go into this, like a new game with the same units, with the same placements every single time. This goes into the repetitive gameplay I was talking about earlier, but it's just boring. Like there are like some interchangeable units, but you don't get the same success. I'm talking about exclusively on endless mode for the only incentive in the game that they truly have, which is to get the upgraded Titan Speaker Man or upgraded Titan Drill Man. It's a carbon click, like, strategy that takes forever that only some people get to do, and you have to exploit it. It's not fun. Like, it's not fun. You can't get to the leaderboards on your own. It sucks. I mean, unbalanced gameplay mechanics, you know, over difficult endless mode waves can frustrate players and eventually lead them to quitting the game, which is, I think, what's slowly been happening in the TTD community. The 6th reason why I think people are starting to quit Toilet Tower Defense is because of developer communication. So obviously TTD has a really small team. It has a team of like 2. Does any count 3? That's not very many if you ask me. However, poor communication from the developers, like regarding updates, bug fixes, or community feedback, can erode player trust and lead to disengagement. Like, for example, I don't know, the head developer somehow, you know, having one of the biggest games on Roblox, but then making another game and publicly announcing it on his channel that's like dedicated to the tower defense that we all play. I don't know. Many of you guys probably didn't think that was weird, but to me, that really rubbed me the wrong way, especially when, you know, Toilet Tower Defense was facing dying allegations, and then Telanthrics are just like, hey, check out my new game. Once again, I get it, and if I was in his situation, I would do it too. I understand. He is a developer, and he wants to make new things and try out new... like, everyone... I get it. I really do. However, it did just rub me the wrong way a little bit. Because it's like, dude, you can work on other projects, but you can definitely hire someone or outsource for someone else to take on some of the work of TTD to keep it slowly and more like... I guess more so consistently have new content features added. However, it's still consistently in the top 10 played games in all of Roblox. So obviously maybe they're not doing something wrong, and by that means they justify that they don't need to update the game as much. And you know, that's fair because it's still a top performer. Maybe I'm just being a crybaby content creator, and that could be the truth as well, guys. I'm not saying I'm 100% right here. All right, let's move on to the next reason. This is probably one of the biggest reasons on this list that I think Toilet Tower Defense is slowly dying. And that's 1000% going to be the lack of rewards that are in this game. If progression feels slow or unrewarding, with little incentive for players to continue playing, they will lose motivation to invest their time in the game. And this is something that's happened to me. I used to play this game like casually all the time when I wasn't recording. I liked playing it. It was a fun game. I looked forward to it, and I liked like trying to progress my character so I looked like I actually knew what I was doing. However, now I only touch this game with a 10-foot pole whenever I'm recording. Whenever I play it, can I have a good time? Yes, I can, and I do enjoy that aspect of it. However, I don't see the incentive to play this game anymore unless I'm making a video. You guys might not have this problem, but I have a reason to get on every day. So what's your guys's? Without much of rewards besides just trying to get better units, what is there to do? That's about it. There's not like an overarching story mode. Like imagine if there was a Toilet Tower story mode that went through all of the story modes and you had to complete maps in a certain order at a certain difficulty and there's a storyline. How cool would that be? How cool would that be? That's like a normal game. At that point, I would get invested again. Sure, would everyone complete it in 48 hours? Yes. But would it be cool? And then we complain about there not being new stuff probably within a week? Yeah, it's still a cool idea. I don't know. Moving on, I think we're on number 8 right now. One of the other things, a lot of these are going to start overlapping, I'll be honest. But the next thing I have on the list is limited content variety. The game currently lacks diversity in terms of maps, enemies, towers, or game modes, and players grow bored quick and seek out other experiences. In case you don't know what that means, it's basically saying you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over, which is most tower defense games. However, once you've hit like a certain threshold, for example, where I'm at in the game, it gets excessively repetitive. Like, I know exactly what wave I'm gonna make it on endless mode. I know how many times I can beat Nightmare Mode. I know exactly what I need to do, what I need to place, what I need to have to beat Nightmare Mode, Endless Mode, yada, 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 yada. I have a pretty good idea of what trades for what in the marketplace, how many gems I'm going to need, what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, so on and so forth, right? That's essentially what that's saying, and a lot of the appeal, like for like a bunch of you guys that aren't long-term players, are that there are a bunch of new players still joining TTD. Which is weird for me to think about, but there are a bunch of new players to this game every single day that have not found Toilet Tower Defense. I bet there are people that do not give a rat's cahootsies about Skibbity Toilet that still play Toilet Tower Defense, and that part is insane to me. But yeah, that's gonna be number 8. Let's move on to number 9. I was gonna say number 9 was gonna be lack of innovation, but I feel like I've already kind of beat the horse on that one, so we're just gonna make a different point. I'm going to say there's an overemphasis on grinding. Realistically, at the end of the day, without paying for it, to get the upgrade, to get the upgrade Titan Cinema Man is pretty easy nowadays. But to like actually summon it, to summon the upgrade Titan Cinema Man, that's a different story. Trying to summon the upgraded Titan Cinema Man all on your own is actually diabolical. That would take so long and so much grinding and so many hours of nightmare modes, trading, endless modes to get the amount of coins that you need to actually beat and summon the UTV all on your own. I'm sure if you summoned it when it first came out, you knew what it was like and what the process was, getting like over 200,000 coins, which is what you need to basically guarantee that you get the unit. Oh my gosh, I've spent hundreds of thousands of coins on this game and I still haven't upgraded still summoned the upgraded Titan Cinema Man, and that's insane to me. Either way, let's move on to our last reason on the list as to why Toilet Tower Defense is slowly starting to die. Alright everyone, well that is going to be the video for today. Let me know if you guys think I missed any points, or if you agree with these points, or you think I'm overreacting. Let me know what you guys think down below, but I thought this was a pretty solid idea just to talk about and get your guys' opinions on. Either way, if you haven't already, check out the video that's currently on the screen to keep up with all the skeleton-y related content. And either way, without further ado, I gotta go mow my driveway, so I'm gonna go take care of that. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We're really close to 50,000 subscribers if we haven't already hit it already. Okay, bye!